Hi, I'm Tina, and you are watching Be Inspired. No matter who you are or where you come from, everybody has a goal or a dream. It may be a dream like getting married or owning your first home, or it could be something a little more challenging like being an entrepreneur or being a best-selling author. Even if it's something that makes others scratch their heads and want you to select a different option, dreams are the things that make the nation progress. As a matter of fact, if it wasn't for big dreams, the Wright brothers would have never flown and companies like Microsoft and Apple would have never come to pass. There was a man by the name of Wayne Huizenga, and he said, "There are people who dream, but then there are people who get up and make things happen." We have two people on the show today who have gotten up and have made things happen. And we are so excited that you have come to join us. So come on in, be inspired. We want to inspire you to dream. Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of Be Inspired. I'm Tina Patton.
And I'm Michael Patton.
And we're going to be inspiring you to follow your dreams. We are joined today by Taya Smith and Rhonda Gibson Willis, and they are going to be helping us to follow our dreams. And they are going to be showing us how to reach our greatest potential and bring our dreams to life. Taya, Rhonda, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Welcome. So today, how about dreaming? That is just a wonderful, wonderful topic that we have. So many people don't dream. So many people have stopped dreaming. And I'm glad that you both are here today to show us how to dream. So before we get started, why don't you both tell us a little bit about yourself? Taya, who are you and how did you get on this show today?
I am Taya Smith. I'm 17 and I'm just in high school, but I've been dreaming since I was a little girl, and there was a show that came out, a singing competition show, and I've always wanted to be on it. So I told my mom, I'm going to go for that, and she just, inspired me to be on this show and to pursue my dreams. So of course she helped me sign up for the show, and I went on it, and I met a whole bunch of people, and I learned so much, and I just think that it was a lot of fun.
What was the show, Taya?
Well, I auditioned for American Idol. I was a contestant on the show, actually. I made it to the end of Hollywood Week, so I got to go to California and live that life for a little while, which is crazy.
Very good.
But it was a lot of fun, and I'm super glad I did it, and I would not have done it if I didn't, have that dream and try to go for it and pursue it. So
Wonderful. So we're going to hear more from you later because I know there are a lot of teens that were looking up to you. We saw it on television and they wondered how you did that. And so you're going to tell us about how you did it a little bit later.
Yeah.
Yes. Rhonda, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So again, like you said, my name is Rhonda Gibson Willis, and I like to refer to myself as your favorite dream pusher's dream pusher. I got into this after 20 years in the social service arena as a licensed clinical social worker. So I've been a therapist. I've done a lot of things. I've always known that I was meant to help people. But it wasn't until I was forced out of an employment situation was I able to step out and really embrace my true dream, which was to pursue my own business and start, doing entrepreneurship. And in that, what I found is that a lot of people don't really pursue their dreams because they're typically really afraid to, or haven't been taught to, or weren't encouraged when they were 17 years old and had that dream. Sure. And so part of what I like to do is help women particularly, but I have worked with men, marry their passion to their purpose so that they can live the life of their dreams. And that looks different for everybody. And so part of what I do is help them to pick up what that thing for them is, hone their gift, and then live their dream however they want to see it. And it could be in, as you mentioned, it could be home ownership, it could be the corner office, it could be just to be happy, right?
Yes.
And so that's what I do, and that's who I am.
Wow, Mike, I don't know about you, but I believe our listeners are going to be inspired today about how to follow their dreams.
Yeah, certainly. So ladies, how important is it to dream? And if it's important to dream, why? Rhonda?
Oh, most definitely. if I didn't believe it was important to dream, I wouldn't do what I do. And what I've found is that when people really envelop or unfold their dream, because some of them have lied dormant for so long that folks don't really remember or realize why they do. If you look at statistics, you know, Gallup does all these research polls every year, and they found that 70% of people hate their jobs. And so I have this hashtag that I use that I say, love your Mondays. I think that is horrible that people dread going to a place that they spend a majority of their time to. And oftentimes people do that because they've given up on whatever their dream was, and they fall into the status quo, which is, I'm supposed to hate my job. I'm supposed to hate what I do the majority of my life. I'm supposed to dread, you know, Monday morning and live for the weekends. And that is simply not true. And so, do I think it's important to dream? I think it's imperative to dream. I think when you dream, it breathes life into what
wow.
you do,
Yes.
and it allows you to be passionate about that thing. And when you dream and you have passion, that can pull you past the hard times when it starts to get, you know, when she talked about going to Hollywood Week, I've seen that. And that's where, you know, the dream will compel you to do things that you wouldn't have done otherwise. So,
Wow,
yes, and I believe that is
Yeah.
so important to dream. And it saddens me that so few people truly embrace their dreams.
Oh my goodness. And Taya, I know you have been singing, but is that your dream? Is singing
My
your
dream?
dream? Yes. What is your dream?
My dream is to basically impact others through what God allows me to do. You know, so if singing is something, a talent that God has given me, so of course I'm going to use it to give him all glory, you know.
Yes.
So it's just something, you know, really cool, and I think that I like take opportunities and run with them. You know, like I tell people all the time, if you have a dream, which I had a dream, you pray about it, and if God opens a door, then run through it.
Yes.
And,
right.
Yes.
and if he closes it, then you just, you know, take a hot second, and God like will allow you, like he'll lead a path for you, and you know, just to, you know, calm down and just take things easy. So singing is definitely a dream of mine, but I also have a dream of being a pediatrician, which is, some people keep telling me, oh, you can't really do both, or, you know, like, what are you doing? Or you like pick one or pick the other, but I mean, I want to be a singer, and I also love science, and I love
Yes.
biology, so I figured if God opens a door to both, then I'm going to run through it. But if he closes one, then as long as I trust in him, I'll just be happy with whatever he allows me to do.
I love what Rhonda said a little bit ago, and I believe you said this, that you marry your passion with your dream, your purpose, your passion, your purpose, and your dreams, you marry those all together. And so it'd be perfect for you. So, you know, we'll talk about it a little bit later, but you don't let anybody tell you what your dream
Exactly,
is.
yeah.
So what is your motivation then for reaching that dream?
My motivation, I
Yes.
think my motivation, this is very cliche, but it's very true.
You won't say it.
My mom is a very hard worker, and she always has been. And she had a job in like retail selling phones and stuff like that a long time ago. And I never really got to see her when we were younger. We were always in daycare. And she had a dream of going back to school and getting her degree in child development. So that's what she did. I remember being at my aunt's house, and she came home and was like, listen, I quit my job. And she went back to school, and she got her degree in child development, and she started a daycare, which is a daycare and preschool, which is going on its 11th year. So,
Excellent.
I mean, I have a huge inspiration in my life already,
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
feel like it's kind of in my blood to follow my
Oh,
dreams,
my
because
goodness.
it's what my mom did.
Yeah, and you know, God gives us dreams.
You're right.
The dreams that you have, the dreams that I have had and have as well currently are given by God. And God is very driven, as well as he is a pusher of dreams also. If you remember Joshua, he began to deal with Joshua about taking the children of Israel to the promised land. And one of the things that he said to Joshua was that he was going to have to meditate day and night. The word meditate simply means to dream. And then David spoke to us in the 100th division, or in the first division of Psalms. He told us to be blessed, that we also were going to have to meditate day and night as well, in essentially saying to us that we were going to have to dream. Before we can do anything, we've got to have a dream. And the dream gives us a vision and gives us a strategy of what God wants us to do. Our responsibility after that, after visualizing the strategy, is to find tactics that will cause us to make the steps towards the dream that God has given to us. So I applaud you, Taya. I applaud you, Rhonda, for taking steps towards your dream. You are certainly pushing the envelope on that.
You know what's really interesting about that is, and I believe that God gives us the dream, right? And oftentimes he gives us a dream that's so big that we can't see a way to get there. And the thing is that it really it empowers you or requires that you really walk in faith,
Yes,
right?
right.
Because
yes.
oftentimes people won't understand
That's
your
correct.
dream,
Yeah.
and people will try and shut it down because they can't see it,
That's
because it's not their dream.
Yeah.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
God also
That's
gives you the gifts and the talents
That's right.
that are required to reach that dream.
That's
and what I
right.
find is oftentimes people minimize and undervalue their gifts and talents.
Sure.
And so one of the things that I enjoy doing is helping to put a mirror up to people so they can see themselves through me. Because I'm like, oh, I see the gift all over you, right? I'm like, do you see how you can serve people?
Yes. Sure.
Because we're all put here to serve others through our gifts and talents.
Yes.
And we're given the dream. We're not shown what it's going to take to get from here
That's
to
right.
the dream, because most of us will opt out. We go,
Right.
ooh, never mind, right?
Right,
That's right.
right.
and
That's
and
right.
so it really is about trusting
Yes.
that the Lord will provide in the way that only He can
Yes.
to get you to that big dream.
That's right.
So yeah,
Very.
Yes.
yeah.
So being a dream pusher and a dream catalyst yourself, what is your motivation for reaching the dreams, or what would be your motivation for helping somebody else to reach their dream?
Because I recognized a long time ago that that's why God put me here. So when I talk about passion, I talk about what excites me, what I'm really good at, and I'm really passionate about helping other people. When I talk about purpose, I talk about how I'm meant to serve others. So I like to say that my passion is what feeds me. My purpose is how I feed you. How I'm meant to serve you as why I'm here on earth. And so that's what guides me, because I know it's not just about me.
Right.
And it's about showing up in the way that I was purposed to. And when I know that when I'm doing that, I'm doing God's work and I'm doing God's will. Even if it doesn't feel good to me, it's not always comfortable. So that encourages me to consistently push after the dreams, even though it's not easy. I mean, I imagine Hollywood Week was probably horrible. I watched the show and I think about, and that's the summation of it all. And the ones that don't make it, through that process, are the ones who are like, I'm going to sleep, right? The first night they're like, oh no, I like to sleep. And you're like, okay, that's where the dream needs the extra push, but some people aren't willing to push past all that because it's really, really, really difficult. So so that's what the dream pushing part is. So that's what I know I'm here for, to help other people realize their dreams. And my dream is to do that, which I think is
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh, that is
Yeah,
awesome.
so each of you have dreams, and share with the audience your strategy of the dream, but then share with the audience the tactics that it has taken for you to begin the process of realizing your dream and walking in your dream. So there's a difference. God gave me a dream to write a book. That is the strategy. The tactics were I had to begin the process of writing the book in order for it to come to pass. So for the two of you, Taya, starting with you, can you address that for us?
Well, I think the strategy of following my dream would be, like I said earlier, like if God opens the door, run through it. So it just takes a lot of prayer. Like that's a huge thing in my life. I think that's the biggest strategy. It's a gift that God gave us to use, is prayer. And so I just pray about anything and everything, and all the dreams that I think about, all of the talent shows that I've been in and all the music shows, that I've been a part of. Like, God, if you allow me to do this, or if I should sing this, even simple stuff like what song should I sing, anything like that. I just pray about it, and I go into it confidently knowing that no matter where I end up, that God's, got my back, and He
Right.
won't lead me astray. So
That's right. He never will.
that's something that I always take with me.
And so those are good tactics that you've shared. Prayer, number
Yeah,
one.
most
I
definitely.
like that. Acknowledge Him in all your ways, and He will direct your paths. And then the tactics that you use, you practice. You find songs that fit you.
Yeah,
you do your
definitely.
research, your homework, as it were, and other steps that you take as well to eventually get you to the goal. And whether that's becoming an American Idol or singing on other shows or other opportunities, you have tactics that help you to reach your goal, whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
Rhonda?
So it's very similar. I like to engage in a lot of prayer and reflective time so that I can hear clearly. Because when the world gets real noisy, and I have a hard time with that sometimes, being able to really focus and hear and get quiet. So I would often have mentors who would say to me, you need to get quiet. I'm like, what do you mean get quiet? Like, there's no time to get quiet, right? And so one of that, prayer obviously, and spending that time so that I can hear the message and see the signs and all of that. But also when it comes to my gift, and even when I work with a client, when I'm coaching someone, the first thing I want to do is help them to recognize what their gift is and identify the gift. Then you also have to invest and nurture in the gift. And sometimes, when you say invest, people automatically assume money. No, it's something more valuable than money. You have to invest time, right? You have to invest time. You have to have faith. You have to work on things. You have to keep hitting against some brick walls that feel like brick walls until they come down. So the tenacity that you need. Another thing is identifying who are the people that you need around you, right? We were speaking a little bit earlier. I was speaking to Taya's mom, and we were talking about being like-minded. Well, it's nice to have like-minded people around you, but you also need heart-minded people around
That's
you,
right.
You also need people who've kind of been there, done that. As a coach, people talk about mentors a lot, and a mentor is somebody who's done that thing that you want to do, and they can tell you how to do that thing that they've done the way that they've done it, right? I can mentor a lot of people about going into business and doing all of that. As a coach, a coaching relationship is different. A coach is going to ask you questions that require that you dig deeper inside of yourself to get the answer for you. So the coach, I don't have to know anything about singing. I don't have to know anything about anything that you are doing, engineering, any of that. I just know how to ask the right questions. If I ask the right questions, it can evoke the answer within yourself. So part of that is really about the coaching aspect of it. So surrounding yourself with someone who can do that for you. Not just be a yes man or a yes woman, making sure you're putting the right people around you, and then developing a strategy and a realistic strategy. Sometimes people would set themselves up for failure because they think that it should be easier than this. Like, if this is what God called me to do, then clearly it'd be much easier. What? No, sometimes you got to learn these different lessons so that you can build that up on to the next thing and build a more solid foundation. Throughout the process of dream pushing, I would love to say that it's always been easy. I would love to say that, but it's not. But I've also been able to glean the valuable lessons that have come out of all of those turns that I looked at. So I don't look at anything as a misturn. I look at things as an opportunity to learn. And that's another valuable asset to the dream pursuit and dream pushing, is being able to reframe so you don't get stuck on what feels like the loss when it really is just a pivot.
Sure.
Yes.
Wow.
And as you talk
Great
about that,
tactics.
when you're looking at reaching your dream and going through that process of going to your dream, there's going to be some opposition, as you talked about. Taya, I know you've come up against some obstacles and opposition as well. How have you managed that?
Well, going to be honest, I've cried a couple of times, but I mean, who doesn't need to let out a good cry? But especially like in the process of being on national television and stuff like that, and you have to like sit perfect all the time and be careful what you say. It's just, you learn. Like, people are like, oh, you have to go through such hard, it's too hard, I don't want to do it. But I think you should push yourself to do it, because even though it's hard, you can learn so much from it that could make your life in the long run easier, like make certain situations in your life easier. So even though I go through like opposition and hardships, like I try to go through everything with God's joy, because I know that He will work like anything and everything that I've done in my past or that I go through that's not, doesn't feel great at the moment, I know he'll work it for my good. So
you're just saying press through it.
yeah,
Yes.
definitely. And with my mom's help, of course.
Yes, yes. Rhonda,
Because
how
she
do you
keeps
deal
my
with
head on my
challenges?
shoulders.
Look, first of all, I just want to say I love this kid. So challenge is really about the reframe and understanding. I'm very much a Romans 8:28 kind of gal, right? I'm like, everything works for good.
Sure.
And so being able to look at opposition as the obstacle's not there to stop you, it's there to see how badly you really want it, right? And so if you look at it that way, and sometimes it's just about taking a step back, reevaluating and pivoting with the new information. You know, I think it was Thomas Edison said, I didn't, of trying to create the light bulb, he said, I didn't fail. I learned 20,000 ways that it didn't work. He only needed to be right once, right? But he technically failed at it 20,000 times. Most of us would have stopped at 2 times. Or Howard Schultz, the guy who owns Starbucks, if he had gone to the first bank that turned him down and been like, okay, I failed, we would have never had a Starbucks on every corner. He had to go to 248 banks, but it's working out, right? It's working out. And so it really is about that perseverance and not taking failure, quote unquote, personally, because the only way you truly fail is if you quit. And so that's my motto, and that's how opposition is not, it's not personal, it's just what it is. It's part of the package.
Wow, wow. We have been talking with Taya Smith and Rhonda Gibson Willis about dreams and about following your dreams and about reaching your dreams. We're going to take a little break, but we're going to come right back. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the people in their lives who have helped them to reach their dreams.
Hi, I'm Apostle Michael. I am the founder and senior pastor of Kingdom Life Christian Cathedral. And I would like to introduce you to my new book called Reconnecting with Divine Grace. This is a God-inspired book. This is a book of 365 daily meditations that I believe will transform your life. This is a book that I believe will impact your life and encourage you and strengthen your walk in Christendom. I would like to invite you to my website to purchase my book, www.kingdomlifeccc.org. God bless you and thank you. Welcome back to the show, Be Inspired. We've been talking about following your dreams with Taya Smith and Rhonda Gibson Willis. We're looking forward to them sharing some more tidbits with us to talk about following your dreams. Taya and Rhonda, share with us about mentors and how important it is to have mentors to help push your dream. And if you have mentors or people that you're accountable to, how has that changed you?
Well, I would say in my process of, picking songs and like guidance, my mom definitely is one of them. But I think it's cool to have someone who's like a so-called expert in music, or just find someone who you're comfortable with.
Sure.
Like I found someone from my church who helped me pick certain songs and made me feel comfortable, because it's okay to feel uncomfortable, for a little bit. But if you're not comfortable and confident going into something, then you're basically, it's not the route to go. So
That's right.
just finding someone who makes you feel or helps you boost your confidence and makes you feel, comfortable is super important to me. And my mom definitely helped me with that, and my mentors at church who helped me, like with my vocal coach, she's from my church.
Sure.
And she makes me feel, she definitely pushes me outside my comfort zone.
Yeah.
But she builds me up so that I have the confidence and the comfort going into whatever situation I'm going into.
Yeah, very good. Rhonda?
So
How about you?
obviously throughout the course of this, I've had several different mentors. And as I mentioned before, the difference between a mentor and a coach is going to, there's a different level of accountability is what I found. Sure. So I've had mentors who have come in who said, I'd love to mentor you through this process, or I've asked for them to mentor me. And the relationship's a little less formalized. The relationships with my coaches have all been very formal, mostly because I've paid for them, so I've invested, and their job has been to hold me accountable. I think I mentioned I lost a considerable amount of weight a couple years ago. And it wasn't due to anything that I didn't already know. It was the fact that I hired a coach who not only had the skill set, but also was willing to hold me accountable and to push me past when I was allowing myself to have those easy excuses, right? And so what I found is, even now, I have the same information. I could do the exact same thing that I did to be as fit and to live as healthily as I did then, but I haven't done it. And the one thing that's preventing me from doing that is not having a coach, right? I have mentors. I have people who have done it before who say, Rhonda, you can do it, right? But that coaching relationship has really been the thing that's helped push me to the next level in everything that I've done, just having that level of accountability. So yeah, I've had a variety of different types of coaches, and some towards strategy, some towards getting clearer on what it is that I'm doing. And what I found is, as you pursue your dreams, there are several types of people that you need around you. You need someone who's going to tell you the truth, right? And sometimes that truth is not a pretty truth. They're going to tell you the truth. You need people who are going to inspire you, right? And then you also need people who can compliment you, who have complementary styles, right? Because it's very comforting to me to be around people who are just like me. But people who are just like me are real big ideals people. And sometimes we have to force ourselves to move on in different things. So there are things that I can do for other people that I can't do for myself. So definitely the mentor relationships have been, and the coaching relationships have been the things that have made all the difference.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is wonderful.
Great. So they've pushed you to reach your goals. They've kept you accountable, as you've made mention, and they have been a wonderful experience as you have reached the goals that you have in front of you, as well as goals that you've not yet kind of obtained, but you have a horizon for those dreams and a pursuit that you are wanting to take place to pursue those dreams as well.
What I'm wondering is, as a dreamer, do you ever arrive? Do you ever get to the point where you say, okay, I've reached all the dreams that I've wanted to reach, and so now I'm just going to sit back and retire from being a dreamer? Taya?
No. Most definitely not. I'm not even saying that just because I'm 17. Like, people look at me like, oh, she's just a baby, she's so young. But I have accomplished a lot, and it's because of the dreams that I have and the talent that God has given me, and that the ability that He's given me. And in order to have success, it's through Him, So I'm never going to stop dreaming, because God is so big and He's so great, and He gives us these dreams and these passions, and He gives us the desire of our heart if we delight in Him. So I'm never, ever, ever going to stop dreaming, because why not, if God's guiding me, and if I completely put my full trust in Him, nothing can go wrong. Like I said earlier, we're going to go through trials and tribulations, but He's definitely going to work everything for my good. So I just want to experience as much as I can, live my best life. That's what, the teens out here, they say.
Right.
Hashtag live your best life. But honestly, I just want to live and experience a whole lot. And so I figured, why stop dreaming? If it can get you so many places that you've never would have thought you could get. And I don't want to sit back and just do nothing when I could go out and do everything.
Wow.
Right.
Rhonda, what about you? Is there ever an end to dreaming?
Okay, so being 30 years her senior, I can tell you, I can speak from a different perspective, right? And I was hoping that she would say something like that, because sometimes when you're 17, you think, oh, well, maybe when I'm 27, I'll settle down with this dream thing, because
Right.
27 feels so far away.
Right.
But I don't think that I will ever, and I don't think that we should ever stop dreaming, because the dream evolves over time. Like, the dreams that I have now at 47, almost 48 years old are different than the dreams that I had even when I was 42. And they're very different than the dreams that I had when I was 27, and very, very different than the dreams that I had when I was 17, but they still have this common thread. And so what I'm excited about, and I tell people all the time, I can't wait to turn 50, because I can't wait to see what my life looks like, right? Because I'm following the dream, and the dream has not failed me, right? It's not let me down, because I recognize the full power in that is really using the gifts that God has given me. And so, yeah, I would never stop dreaming. And I don't mean dream in the way of just sit back and visualize and think, there's this thing that I want to do. No, it's putting the action behind it to make it happen. That's what I live for, the pursuit of the dream. And so, yeah, I think I'll never fully arrive as having dreamed, and I don't plan to.
Is it okay to juggle multiple dreams? Is it okay to juggle multiple things that you're reaching toward? Is that okay?
It's okay, but it depends on what it is that you're looking to do. So even with Taya, she said, is it Taya?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Like all of a sudden I said it and it didn't sound right. But when Taya said, you know, I have the dream, I want to be a pediatrician, but I also want to sing. Those are two things that she can do, obviously, at the same time. If you have a dream that if you're pursuing one, it's going to cancel out the other completely. Sometimes, you know, you might just want to focus on the one thing at a time and then move on to the next. But if you can do them concurrently, do them concurrently. And it also depends on the outcome that you're looking for. So a lot of my dream, you know, part of my goal is to monetize my dream, right? I want to make money with my dream so that I can do that exclusively. I came from working as a social worker. As I mentioned, I was a licensed clinical social worker. I would do therapy. I would do different things that was really draining and really tiring, and it didn't feel like I was marrying my passion to my purpose. I was really good at it, but I didn't feel like I was in the right spot to do that, right? And so part of my dream is to be able to make money and make as much money as I need to make to be able to sustain myself so I could do it full time, right? So if I want to do that, I need to focus on that one thing.
Yes.
I can also focus on my dream of being a professional drummer, which, you know, I mentioned I air drum. You may see me on the street air drumming someday, but I can't focus on those two dreams together if I want to make money off of one,
That's
right?
That's right. Yeah, very, very good. So it's important for us to continue to dream no matter what our age is, and we appreciate you all sharing that as well. You know, everybody's looking for a benefit. Everybody wants to hook up. Share with us how your dreams have benefited you. Rhonda?
Well, my dream is the reason I get up in the morning, right?
Okay.
I have 4 children, 4 daughters, and I hope to inspire them the way that Taya says she's inspired by her mother. But I know for a fact that my youngest daughter, who was 15, and I started pursuing this dream full time when she was 9 years old. So basically, this is the only version of me that she's known, and she has pursued and gone after dreams that I never would have thought of for myself or for her. When she was 7 years old, she told me she wanted to dance background for Lady Gaga, right? It was the weirdest thing, and she denies it to this day. But because of that, we've gone full on after this dream, and she's now a nationally ranked dancer, and she'll be filming a television show soon, and she's seeing dreams realized. And I just tell her, you know, when you're dancing background for Blue Ivy, I just want front row tickets, right? And so one of the ways that has benefited me is that not only am I doing it for me, but I know that I'm leaving a legacy with my children, and I'm teaching them how to dream. And it's not so, to me, it's not so important what your dream is that you know how to follow a dream, because you can take out whatever this current dream is, insert new dream, and if you have the blueprint, you got it, right? A lot of us don't have that. So the dream benefits me in that way, which with me knowing that I'm leaving that legacy for my children, but it also gives me that thing, that the satisfaction of knowing that I'm being used in the way that God intended for me to be used.
Very good. Taya, how has your dream benefited you or given you an edge?
I think dreaming and my dream has benefited me simply by giving me opportunities. You know, for instance, like this one, being here with you guys talking about dreaming. If I would have never gone out and experienced what I've experienced, I wouldn't be able to share and impact other people's lives, you know? And like, God has given me my talent. God has allowed me to experience all of these things and go out and make something of myself. And if I didn't do that, and if He didn't allow me to do that, then what's our purpose? Like, is His work really being done, you know, here on earth? So I think that it's just really allowed me to, you know, be used by God and like with all of my experiences and everything that I've done, and I just don't want to stop. I want to continue in that and just do everything that I do, to glorify Him. And I know people say that all the time, but it's honestly, it's like, it's who I am, Like I want to know who I am in Christ, and with the things that He's allowed me to do, like I just want to be able to empower others through that. Like I want to be able to, shout it from the rooftops.
All
so
right.
people say, like, this is what God is doing in me, and this is
All
how
right.
God is using me. So,
Yeah.
And I think
that's
that takes me to
Yeah.
the question that I have, and how are your dreams, when you realize them, I guess I would say, how are they impacting others around you? And I think that's probably the most important thing that we want to bring out today, and that our viewers are looking at. When your dreams are realized, how is that impacting somebody else around you? How do you think it impacts others? And you're talking about it, you're shouting it on the rooftops.
Yeah.
How is it impacting others' lives when they see you, Taya Smith, on American Idol, or they see you, the winner of Michiana Idol, or they see you doing these things in your church? How is that impacting other people's lives?
Well, I feel, and I would like, if so, my mission, is that when people say my name, or when they think of my name, they don't just think of, wow, she's that 17-year-old girl with curly hair who can sing. Like I want them to think like, oh, she's that godly girl, or she's the one who makes good decisions, or she's the one who, is so bubbly. But I want the first thing people to think of when they think of me is that like she shows Christ to everyone, and so if God allows me to be on all of these different platforms, and if I continue to trust in Him and let Him guide me, then like when I'm on these platforms, like I'll be able to show Christ's love and Christ through me. And that is my dream, is to empower people, So I love to sing and I love science, so of course I'm going to tie those into my dream, But I want people to feel empowered through the work that God has done through me. And so I don't ever want that to change. Like that would be my dream. And I will, like, as I get older, like you said, you get new dreams. And so I will just take things as I get older and tie them into wanting to empower people through, Christ's love. So
That's wonderful. I love how the two of you are
Yeah.
are inspiring
Yeah.
one another.
Yeah, I'm like, she's so inspiring me.
we're bouncing off of each
Inspiring
other.
one another.
It's the synergy, right? And
I
that's the importance
know.
of getting around other people who are
Yeah.
like you, because it builds that, and when all the boats float up together, right? And so, yeah, I love it. I love it. At 17.
Right. Well, how is reaching your goals impacting others around you?
Oh, I'm glad you
just-
asked. Because
Yes.
I was so enthralled in her answer that I forgot the question. So Marianne Williamson wrote a poem called Our Deepest Fear. And in that poem, she talks about our deepest fear is not that we are, it's that not that we're inadequate, but that we're powerful beyond measure. And in one part, it says that when you shine your light, you unconsciously give other people permission to shine theirs, right? And so I have been conscientious about the fact that there are people who will look at me who recognize the gift, which I recognize, and I'm clear to point out the gift that I have is God-given, right? And then there's this human side of Rhonda, which I could be a hot mess sometimes, right? I have a T-shirt that says Jesus loves this hot mess. Because, and when you know me and I'm true as who I am and authentic in that appearance of, I have this amazing gift that can really inspire and help you to do those things, right? That didn't come from me.
Sure.
That didn't come from me, right? The mess, that came from me, right? I can have these two things and I can still do those things, and it inspires other people. So when you live your life authentically, it gives other people permission to do the same. Whenever I post on something or talk about, I'm pretty transparent about, what's going on, or if things are difficult or whatever, and I get all of these Me Too's in my inbox, and people say, you inspire me through that, just to be who I am totally, because I think we've been conditioned to create these shields of perfection that are killing us, right? Because, and we have to form to whatever this image is of what people think of us. And sometimes because of that, we're not living our dream, because we don't want people to think that we, so in that way, I think that I give people that if Rhonda can do it, I can too, which I've heard that a couple of times. And it used to offend me. I'm like, what do you mean if Rhonda can do it, right? But now I take that as, that's a badge of honor. if Rhonda can do it. And I want people to understand that if I can do it, you can too, because there's nothing special about me. I just identified what my God-given talent was and my gift is, and I invest in it, and I plan to make a return on that investment. You know, you talk about the parables of the talents. Like, I'm not coming back with the one going, look, I stored it. It's perfect. It's just the way you gave it to me, right? I'm going to come back with double, triple. You know, that's my goal, to do that and inspire other people to do the same.
Oh, wonderful. I know our viewers are inspired to do that.
Sure,
yes.
for sure. So as we come to a close, would you guys share with us some tidbits, some wisdom, possibly to new dreamers, dreamers that may be tired, or dreamers that may be just getting started? Can you share some things, words of wisdom to those dreamers?
I would say, you know, have confidence, because that's a big thing too. I mean, like I said, going into something, you want to be confident in what you're doing. Honestly, like, study what you're going into. Like, whatever your dream is, like, let's say like entrepreneurship or music or science or whatever your goal, like, set your goal and plan it out. Like, literally make like a blueprint of like, how can I accomplish this? So like, I think maybe like tired dreamers, like, they're not used to doing that, or they look too far ahead. Like, some people start their dream and like, you start here and then they automatically look here and they're confused on how am I supposed to get there, you know? Like, I've always done like little talent shows and stuff like that. Like, I've been singing in talent shows since I was 7. That was my first little talent show. I was wearing like little cowgirl boots and stuff because I wanted to be a country singer. But I mean, that's obviously changed now. But like, steps, like, that stepped me up, and, you know, like, experience, like, I sang on worship team at my church and stuff. Just being around others, you know, like those little steps leading up to fully accomplishing your dream, I think is so important, which I think that's what people forget about. Like, they're like, oh, let's set a goal, but how am I supposed to get there? You know, so it's just those small steps, like in that blueprint that you create, that people forget about, but those are super vital to helping you, you know, accomplish what you want.
Right.
What she said.
Ditto.
Get real clear on the dream, because most people have pieces, you know, get clear on what their dream is, and then get in community with people who are like-minded, because like I said, the synergy of this, because not everybody understands the dream pursuit, and it's real easy to get talked down off of the dream, right? So being around like-minded people and invest in your dream. If there's something that you want, if I say I want to play basketball, then I need to be outside dribbling. I need to be dribbling in my house. I need to be dribbling before I go to bed. I need to set up, you know, a plan of action on how I'm going to do that thing, and not expecting that it's just going to be this thing that you just wake up and do and you're going to do well because it's your gift. You really have to nurture your gift.
Okay. All right. Great.
Well, Mike, we've had a great time
Yeah,
tonight
we
with
have.
Taya
Wow.
and Rhonda. And so, viewers, we hope you've had a great
What a
time
blessing.
too. And so, what we want to inspire you to do is to reach, follow your dreams. Be inspired to follow your dreams. Hi, I'm Tina Patton, co-pastor of Kingdom Life Christian Cathedral, located at 707 Sherman Avenue in the great city of South Bend, Indiana. And I want to personally invite you to our services on Sundays at 11 a.m., where you will come to life. If you're looking for a church with a powerful praise and worship, an anointed word, and ushers and greeters who will greet you at the door with love, you've found the right place. We also have a nursery where your babies can participate and you can bask in the presence of God. Our mission is to promote the rule and reign of God in the hearts of the believer. And we do that not only in these 4 walls, but also in our neighborhoods, in our communities, and in the region. So I invite you to Kingdom Life, where you will come to life. Well, we have had a great time with Taya and Rhonda Michael, and I'm telling you, I'm inspired to follow my dreams.
Yeah.
This has been wonderful. So thank you, Taya. Thank you, Rhonda, for sharing with our viewers about how to follow their dreams. Now, Rhonda, I know people can contact you, and Taya, I know they can contact you. So please give us some information on how people can get in touch with you if they need to later on.
Oh, definitely. They can, if they want to reach me directly, they can go to Rhonda at RhondaGibsonWillis.com. That's GIP as in Paul, SON, Willis.com. Also, I have a Facebook group at iPushDreams.com, and I'm on Twitter and Instagram as rgibsonwillis.
Okay, yep. My email is tayasmith00 tayah@gmail.com. And my Instagram handle is tayah.lauren, TAYAH.LAUREN, along with my Twitter handles. And my pages are very encouraging and inspiring and really fun. And I post a lot of singing videos on there too. So.
Okay.
Very good.
Very good.
Well, thank you very much for
Yeah.
joining us
Thank you
tonight. And
both.
we want to inspire you all. Just
That's right.
follow your
Follow
dreams.
your dreams.